Venezuelan Americans are Americans who trace their heritage, or part of their heritage, to the nation of Venezuela. The word may refer to someone born in the U.S. of Venezuelan descent or to someone who has emigrated to the U.S. from Venezuela. Venezuelan Americans are one of 20 Latin American groups in the United States. Venezuela's diverse culture includes influences from Spanish, Portuguese, Italians, Germans, and the French, along with influences from African and Amerindian elements. Venezuelan Spanish is the group's spoken form of the Spanish language. In the United States, Venezuelans are on top of the list of nationalities requesting asylum. Until the 20th century, the number of Venezuelans that emigrated to the USA is unknown because they were included in the other category. During the 18th and 19th century, there were many European migrants who went originally to Venezuela, but later moved to the United States with their children and grandchildren who were born and/or grew up in Venezuela speaking Spanish. From 1910 to 1930, it is estimated that over 4,000 South Americans each year migrated to the United States. However, there are not many specific figures that indicate the number of Venezuelans among the 4,000. Many Venezuelans settled in the United States with hopes of receiving a better education, only to remain there following graduation. Many Venezuelans who have relatives living in the United States also emigrated to this country. However, since the 1980s, the reasons for Venezuelan emigration have changed to include hopes of earning a better salary. Beginning in the 2000s and continuing up to the present, many Venezuelans opposing the regime of Presidents Hugo Chavez and Nicolas Maduro have migrated to the U.S. The largest concentration of Venezuelans in the United States is in South Florida, especially the suburbs of Doral and Weston. Other main states with Venezuelan American populations are, according to the 2010 census, Texas, New York, California, New Jersey, Georgia and Virginia. Urban areas with a large Venezuelan community include Miami, Houston, New York City, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. The 10 states with the largest Venezuelan population were: the U.S. state with the smallest Venezuelan population was South Dakota with 25 Venezuelans. Among U.S. communities in 2000 wherein 1,000 or more people indicated their ancestry, those where at least 1% of people claimed Venezuelan ancestry were. The top 25 U.S. communities with the most residents born in Venezuela are: the Venezuelan American population represents Venezuela's ethnic variety. Some 70% of Venezuelan immigrants are a mixture of European, Amerindian, and African ancestry. The rest are 21% white, 8% black and 1% is Amerindian. Most Venezuelan Americans are descendants of Spanish, Africans, Italians, Portuguese, Germans, French, and Chinese. The Venezuelan American population are highly educated. The people obtain a bachelor's, graduate, and professional degrees at nearly double the total U.S. national percentage, while only 6% of the group's adults did not complete high school, compared to 15.9% of the total U.S. national population. Venezuelan Americans are not only highly adapted to the English language and achieve great accomplishments in American education, but also tend to consider the teaching and preservation of the Spanish language a priority for the most part. Thus, they teach the language to their children, and emphasize an extreme importance to obtaining a level of academic achievement and/or technical acumen to their own children. Venezuelan Americans work in a variety of professions. However, most of them are inclined to banking and the petroleum industry. Thus, they often have a significantly deep depth of expertise within these specific professions. Venezuelan Americans also work in highlighted positions of television, publishing, and radio industries. In addition, many Venezuelan Americans are becoming politicians or entering some form of public service within government, working both local politics and federal politics. Furthermore, there is a significant growth in the number of Venezuelan Americans that engage in the public arena of politics specific at the federal level, going so far as proactively submitting for electoral consideration for those federal public positions. In general, most common Venezuelan American citizens will often engage heavily and overtly in U.S. politics and the politics of their native country, and are often extremely well informed, and a few among their number are astute, near consistent Lifelong polymath students of history, language, science, culture, and economics, they will often be very aware of specific political policies, local, state, and federal laws, and the history of where those policies and laws come from. The attitude among these few Venezuelan Americans is that there is no shame of not knowing something. But to be